The escape pod narcissist floats through space and it drifts to the place of a deep salvage base.
Bio readouts are all on the green. Looks like she's alive.
There goes our salvage, guys.
She's sent to Gateway Station in hospital for weeks.
Side effects of such an unusually long hypersleep.
The company man Bert confirms all her fears.
You were out there for 57 years.
When she feels better, she has to go to court about blowing up the Nostromo and the alien she fought. In space, no one can hear you scream. At least that was the case with Ripley's last team. No one believes her, now Ripley is shocked.
Because I blew it out of the goddamn airlock.
When they're condescending, Ripley lets her temper fly.
You can just kiss all that goodbye!
Van Leeuwen finds her guilty and confines her to a station for 6 months probation and a psych evaluation. Now the alien planet is occupied apparently, a mining colony with
maybe 70 families.
A few months later and the company's in a fix.
We've lost contact with LV-426.
Why this could be, the company's none the wiser.
I would like you there as an advisor.
Ripley says no, comes as no shock though when she decides to go on the ship's narco. Although she's new, she joins the crew and they all wake up in their cryo tube. Hypersleep don't appeal, but it's part of the deal.
You look just like I feel.
A poem's more effective than any alarm.
Day in the Marine Corps is like a day on the farm. What do you want me to do, fetch a service for you?
Hudson replies,
Would you, sir? I'd like that. Look into my eye.
Vasquez does more push-ups than anyone can.
Have you ever been mistaken for a man?
They all get ready and go to have lunch.
The lieutenant's too good to eat with the rest of us, Krantz.
Bishop does his knife trick as fast as he can. Hudson says,
It wasn't funny, man.
The robot Bishop offers Ripley a place.
Stay away from me, Bishop. You got that straight?
Now they're on a bug hunt, there's no doubt about it.
How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit?
Vasquez makes light of the death of Ripley's crew.
I hope you're right. I really do.
By 6 AM he wants the preparations done and clear.
Assholes and elbows. Hudson, come here.
There's an empty power loader and Ripley gets on it to show off in front of Hicks. She says,
Where you want it?
They pose with the smart guns, the mission's way easy. They pour through the door and board the APC. Inside the dropship, the armor car parks and Pharaoh's about to blast off.
On my mark.
Not one to frown, Hudson's acting a clown.
Express elevator to hell. Going down.
The dropship dies, Pharaoh keeps him alive.
We're in the fight. 5 by 5.
They get there quick to LV-426, Apone says.
Somebody wake up Hick.
The dropship lands, the APC is manned, they jump out as planned and the landscape is scanned. They inspect the first deck, the checks are assertive. As they expect, the complex is deserted. Rain from above comes down in a flood, holes burnt by the aliens. Contained in med that bar parasites the sea.
Looks like love at first sight to me.
An alert is heard on the motion tracker, but it's a little girl, they all go to catch her. She dives down the chute, but Ripley's in pursuit. After a brief dispute, she becomes a new recruit. The girl is cute, but appears to be mute. They get to the root. They scan for the colonists, data information. They find them at the atmosphere processing station. A bomb brings up the rear, they have no fear. They pack up the gear, the colonists are near.
What is it, Hudson?
The image ain't clear.
You tell me, man. I only work here.
Ripley spots an immediate danger.
They're right under the primary heat exchanger.
Look, we can't have any firing in there.
Is he fucking crazy? They don't think it's fair. That's when they find the colonists cocooned in the wall.
Get over here, we got a live one!
They hear Dietrich call. Blood sprays through a vest and a baby alien bursts through her chest. They wipe out the alien with a torrent of flame. They got themselves to blame, the tracker goes insane.
Maybe they don't show up on infrared at all.
But Dietrich out the wall is the first to fall. With Dietrich lost, next goes Frost. Ammunition goes off at a terrible cost. It's all gone wrong.
Jesus Christ, Apone, what is going on?
But this is the end of the sergeant's career.
Sergeant's gone! Get the fuck out of here!
They're taking a knock, they're all in shock. But Vasquez at last has a blast.
Let's run!
A rescue is something Gorman won't allow.
Get them out of there! Do it now!
Ripley takes charge after strapping all the crew in.
Ripley, what the hell are you doing?
She drives to the site to clean up this mess and crashes through the wall at the alien nest. There's no time for grieving, those that aren't breathing.
We are leaving!
As they bring up the rear, Vasquez makes a mistake and a flood of acid blood gets to face upon Drake. They try to close the door, they hear a deep hiss. Hicks grabs his shotgun and shouts. Then Ripley speeds away, escaping the monsters. The box falls where it's stored, knocking Gorman unconscious. An alien drops to the top but is not from the ride. At last they crash fast through the blast doors outside. Hicks gets her to stop by saying this down. They patch themselves up and throw some ideas around. Ripley isn't daunted, she gets things sorted.
We take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
The dropship's on its way, of this they're assured. The Pharaoh doesn't know about the alien on board. With the pilot gone, the ship flies into some boulders. Relief turns to alarm for Ripley and the soldiers. The APC and dropship go supernova.
Game over, man! Game over!
They decide to go inside, listening to Nuke closely.
They mostly come at night, mostly.
After the Marines' annihilation, they head back to operations to fortify the station for more alien invasions. Stockpiling the weapons and collecting all the rations. Ripley checks the company log to find out how it happened. It was Bert being a jerk that made the situation for them.
You sent them out there and you didn't even warn them.
Bishop calls a meeting with everyone attending.
That's it. emergency venting.
The cooling towers ruptured during the battle early on. The place was going to explode and they didn't have long. Someone's got to go to the uplink tower to remote pilot the dropship within the next hour. Bishop volunteered but no one else in the group did.
I may be synthetic, but I'm not stupid.
So they open up a tunnel, Bishop gets inside, but it'll take a while to get there because it isn't very wide. Then Ripley goes for a nap with Newt on the floor, but when she wakes up she has a shock in store. Somebody came in and set the facehuggers free, then locked the lab door so Ripley can't flee. Ripley waves to the camera hoping they will be seen, but Burke slowly turns off the monitor screen. The gun's in the other room now, but they just can't make it.
Break the glass! Break it!
The windows won't break, but Ripley uses her head and sets off the fire alarm instead. That's when a facehugger hops from up on the top. She throws it away, but it cannot be stopped. Newt starts screaming up and Hicks will find her, but doesn't notice a facehugger behind her. That's when the Marines arrive and Hicks jumps to the glass. Hudson pushes Newt aside, shooting a facehugger fast. The rest of them gather round to try and save Ripley. They pull the parasite off her and they take it out quickly. She struggles to talk as her throat is still hurt.
It was Burke.
They get back to operation to start giving Burke hell. Hudson says,
His dog need hell.
Alright, we waste him.
the mood has gone sour, the lights go out. Ripley says, the motion tracker goes off, there's movement in the hall, so they see that the doors are back against the wall.
Can't be, that's inside the room.
So Hicks gets in the ceiling and illuminates the gloom. The aliens drop down, the situation's dire. Burke makes his escape while the Marines are open fire. He blocks the barricade as the banging on the door comes face to face with another xenomorph. The Marines are outnumbered, Hudson setting in the score. When they come from underneath him and they pull him through the floor. But scares wells the door, doesn't look like it'll last.
What are you gonna do? Do it fast!
With the exit seal behind them, it looks like they are stuck, but they're in luck. Newt leads them down the air duct. Hicks asks Bishop, how long until he's finished?
ETA, 16 minutes.
That scares Bishop up the rear as the aliens attack, but acid from an alien puts her on her back. Gorman goes to help her, but then comes the unexpected. An alien bursts up and blocks the only exit. They get out some grenades and finish the job for them.
You always were an asshole, Gorman.
The other three escape. Newt's hit by a blast. She slips through Ripley's grasp on the ventilation shaft. They're spurred on now by the tracker alert, but when they get to the lift, Hicks gets hurt. They have to take off his armor as acid disintegrates him. Ripley has to carry him, doesn't look like he will make it. Ripley gets into the dropship, puts Bishop on the spot. She wants to rescue Newt.
We're not leaving!
We're not?
She loads up all the guns and prepares to save her with the personal locator that Hicks gave her. She goes to sub-level 3 despite Bishop's insistence.
15 minutes to reach minimum safe distance.
She'll follow Newt's signal until she is found, but that's when she finds the wristband on the ground. Newt starts screaming, luckily Ripley hears her and blasts the facehugger before it gets nearer. She picks up Newt gently without being seen, but then accidentally backs into the Queen. The Queen sees that Ripley is armed to the teeth, so she calls off the guards and lets Ripley retreat. She's just about out without the aliens harassing, but then an egg opens and Ripley starts blasting. Ripley goes mental, and who can blame her? She shoots everything inside, destroying the egg chamber. After wasting all the ammo, which would be handy later, she escapes with Newt to the nearest elevator. But the launch pad is empty of dropship and crew.
Bishop! God damn you!
The lift opens up, the Queen's managed to find her, the Bishop's dropship appears behind her. They jump on the ramp and are chased by the Queen. The ship's caught in debris, but then it breaks free. They fly off into the complex, melts up below them, and the dropship gets rocked by a nuclear explosion. They get back safe. Bishop did great. The artificial person is finally her mate. But they failed! Bishop's impaled right up to the hilt, ripped in half, spewing blood like a fountain of milk.
Here!
Says Ripley and runs to the door to distract the Queen while Newt hides in the floor. The Queen gets frustrated with Newt escaping without hesitating, starts ripping up the grating. But before much waiting, Ripley comes straight in, armed with a power loader and a class 2 rating. Newt's trapped in a ditch, screaming high pitch.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Ripley's now locked and cleans the Queen's clock, who gets knocked across the dock over to the airlock. But without a pause, the Queen grabs her with her claws and they fall with force on the loading bay doors. Ripley's first up and quickly climbs the ladder. The Queen's pinned down but still manages to grab her. But Ripley isn't done. She activates her controls and sucks the Queen alien right out of the hole. She flies into space and now she's been disposed. Ripley pushes the button to make sure the door's closed. Although Bishop's torn in half, he's still friendly to them.
Not bad for a human.
They get in their cryo tubes after defeating the Queen. Newt is finally safe.
Can I dream?
They go to hypersleep and head home with speed, but the survivor's future would be dark indeed. But mysteriously, some eggs have ended up on board. Facehuggers make their way to where the cryotubes are stored. An electrical fire is started by acid, and the pods are ejected because the damage is massive. Newt drowns in the tube because they crash in the sea, and Hicks dies on impact, impaled by a beam. Bishop is smashed beyond repair, and Ripley is forced to shave off her hair. But worst of all, it turns out the bitch is back. The planet's prisoner population is promptly attacked. They have no weapons. Ripley has to use her head and burn the alien in hot lead instead. The company comes looking, but before they can find her, Ripley kills herself. She had an alien inside her. And if you thought this story went in a funny direction, wait until you see Alien Resurrection.
Game over, man.